Hey everybody, and welcome back to the next part in my dialing in series for the Line 6 Helix. I've been off for a couple of weeks over the Christmas break. Hope everybody had a great holiday and is back in the swing of things in the new year. I've had a bunch of requests actually for a while for one particular tone it's a song I always love. It's Chris Isaak's Wicked Game. I can't remember which year that came out. Is that an 80s song, I guess, late 80s maybe? What a great guitar tone. Very ambient, atmospheric type sound to it. Beautiful melodic playing on it. So I thought I'd take a crack at it anyways. And I did a little bit of quick research about what was used on that. Apparently it was a Strat into a 60s Deluxe, Fender Deluxe, I believe. Again, I have no idea of knowing whether any of that is true or not, but just going by what I read online. It seemed about right when I when I actually listened to it, and it seemed like that would be a reasonable way to go about getting that tone. Obviously with lots of reverb, some delay, a little bit of creative use of the chorus, and it sounded pretty good. I found a really good backing track online. I did a performance video, which will be up at the same time as this video. The only thing is, it's kind of funny, as I was playing through the take that I did, the take came out really nice. I realized I was on the middle pickup selector when I meant to be in position 4 to get my neck and middle, and I just went with it. So I'll demonstrate how this tone will sound either way, but the demo video, the performance video, actually I meant to have it in a different position. I didn't end up there. Who cares? Big deal. Still sounds good. Not exactly how I dialed it in, but gets the point across. And again, you guys can just put it on whatever position works for you and settle there. All right, so let's go over to HX Edit and take a look at what I did. A couple of different things. I started off with my normal template that I use, that anybody who's watched my previous videos will know about, with the Dynamics processor at the end, LA Studio Comp, set peak reduction of 6, gain of 5. A little bit of creative use of EQ on this. I went with my normal low cuts and high cuts, 100 hertz low cut, 12 kilohertz high cut. But I did do a couple one narrow Q notch kind of at 900 hertz, which I pulled it back 12 dB just to kind of get the tone where I wanted it to be. That worked. And then a slight 1 dB cut at a Q of 3.5 at 2 kilohertz on that. So that was basically it. But let's jump over to the amp. Like I mentioned, I used the US Deluxe because that's what I had read that was used on the original recording. Into basically the stock cab that comes up with this 112 US Deluxe. And I also read that it was mic'd with a 57. Again, who knows, right? But it worked again. It's not a mic I usually use, but it gave me what I wanted for this. So we have that on. The amp settings were a drive of 5, bass of 6.6, mid at 10, treble at 5.6, presence at 6.8, channel volume all the way up to 10, and master at 10. And I didn't bother touching the deeper parameters. I did go into my split crossover and set it a little higher than I normally do at 1.5 kilohertz. And I boosted everything above 1.5K by 3 dB just to give it a little more sparkle. It didn't touch anything below. I did put a compressor at the beginning just to kind of really control any peaks on this. I didn't want to have to add any processing after the fact in the mix, which oftentimes, in the studio, a lot of people will do, a lot of engineers will do. I didn't want to do that. So what you're hearing in the performance video now is just unprocessed after the fact. It's just going to be what this preset is. So I went with the Deluxe Comp, a threshold of minus 20 dB. I was not heavy-handed with it. Ratio of 2 to 1. Set the attack at 15 milliseconds to still let some of the pick attack come through. Release of 100 milliseconds. Boosted the level by 1 dB, a little bit of makeup gain, and the mix at 100%. So that takes care of our path 1. Now let's go down to path 2, where the real interesting part of this sound starts. We went in and I used the duck delay. I set it, the tempo was at 111. I don't know if that's precisely the same tempo of the original, but it is the tempo of the backing track I played over, so I synced it with that. And I set it to a quarter note triplet, okay? Just seemed to feel right in there. Feedback of 30%. Mix of 40%. I really didn't touch much else. All of these are just the settings that came up because it worked. It sounded fine. Now, I sent that into a chorus. So just the standard chorus model here in stereo. Speed of 0.7, depth of 5.1, pre-delay of 3.2. I changed the wave shape to sine. So what I use is a split AB so that the signal was going to go more to our A part of our path, so I could control a little better how much of the chorus blended in. And to me, it just sounded better when I brought it back into path A after the reverb. It was a subtle difference, but I liked it this way. So that was just kind of a nice way of working, a little different than what I normally work, but for this case, it worked nicely. So there's and then into a reverb, I went with a big hall reverb, decay of 6.8. I went way up on the pre-delay to 60 milliseconds, just because I wanted to hear the notes first and then have the reverb come in. I didn't want that reverb encompassing the attack of my notes, right? So you can get away with a lot more reverb that way. And not have it sort of engulf your notes. You'll still get clarity, but a bigness in the reverb, right? So I went with that. I brought the high cut up to 6 kilohertz just to get a little bit more of a pristine reverb out of it, and the mix was at 40%. Okay, so let's do this. Let's just start by turning everything off and seeing how this sound would have been with just the amp and the stock cab. Okay, so all you're hearing now is the amp and the stock cab. Now I'm going to be on position 4, like I said, so what you're hearing is neck and middle position, right? Nothing wrong with that tone. Sounds nice. Obviously not very ambient, right? So let's bring our dynamics processor at the end and our EQs back in. So our split crossover and our EQ here. See how that sounded. Here, a little bit of the nice squish from the compression at the end, and a few little things that smoothed out the tone with the EQs that I was working on. Gave it a little bit more sparkle to it, okay? Now, obviously missing a lot of ambience. Let's bring in the compressor at the beginning. Okay, now we're bringing in the ambience. Let's bring the reverb in. So quite big, right? But it works nicely for this. Now we'll bring the delay in. And now I'm going to bring that final chorus in that's just mixed in subtly. On that middle position, like I made the mistake in the performance video, it still sounds nice. Different pickup positions will work too. A neck position, if you want to be a bit fatter. Position 2. And bridge position. I kind of really like it on the 4th position. So that's it. That's the tone. Again, I'm not saying that this is a, sorry, knocked something off here, an exact replica of what was going on Wicked Games. But it was pretty close, and I think it works. And go listen to the performance video, hear how those effects kind of blend into the mix and everything, and I hope you guys really enjoy it. It was a fun one to do. It's one I've been meaning to get to for a while. I had a bunch of requests, and a good buddy of mine actually sent me a Facebook message the other day and said him and his wife were listening to the song and said, I really need to do it. So I thought, well, what a good way to come back from the holidays. We'll do that. So thanks so much for tuning in, guys. I'm going to have that up on Custom Tone. Go grab it, tweak it however you need to make it your own or to work on with your guitar or your system. And I hope it works out for you. And I hope you guys enjoy it. And I hope you enjoyed the videos. Please like and share the video if you don't mind. And subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I really appreciate all your support. We've got a lot of exciting stuff coming up this year. And getting ready to go to NAMM soon, actually. I'll be out there with the Line 6 Yamaha guys. It'll be a real blast to meet everybody and meet a lot of you guys who are going to be there who've been messaging me back and forth. So it'll be a lot of fun. So again, go grab it on Custom Tone. Thanks again for tuning in, guys. And hope all is well. And we'll talk soon. Ciao for now.